All right, so the next thing we're going to be looking at is value. Okay, value is the lightness or darkness of things. And we'll actually do a line of value here in a bit after the video. So what we're going to practice is how to create value. So if I take my pencil and I very loosely hold it and I just touch the paper, hardly touch the paper, you can kind of see a little bit of a value starting to happen. And when I hold my pencil a little tighter and press a little harder, I start to make a little bit of a darker value. And when I hold it even harder and tighter and press a little more, it is shading. This is how you learn to shade. So the first thing you're going to do is make a little value scale, shaded value scale, just like a little, almost, it's kind of like a tornado, but it doesn't get skinny at the bottom. The hardest part is this right here, where you're hardly touching the paper. Hardly touching the paper, okay? So you will stop the video in a minute. You'll stop the video in a minute and you'll actually create a little value scale like this, going from light to dark. I'll pause now so you can stop the video and do that. Okay, so now you've made your little value scale like this, and we're going to actually make another value scale that is a 5-step value scale, and these are going to be definite steps from one thing to the next. Notice I'm leaving room here for a little drawing. So I'm going to make a long rectangle and I'm going to break it into 5 sections. It's about as wide as my finger. That's not dirt, that's green paint. Just saying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a little tail, but I'm not going to worry about that tail. This one's the easiest one because it's white. You're done. Okay. This one's a little harder because it's black. Because what you think is you're just going to scribble in there. No, not with me. I'm going to teach you how to shade dark. Don't stand up, Eddie. Okay. These right here are much harder. Okay. This one's probably the hardest one right here because you can hardly touch the paper. So I'm going to start with black. I want to show you how to do the black. I'm going to start. That's not very dark, is it? Say what? It's not black, but watch. I went this direction. Now I'm going to turn my pencil and go another direction. I'm still not pressing very hard. This makes a much nicer, richer value than if you do this. This leaves lines, it's shiny, it dents the paper. This is a no-no. Don't even put this in your sketchbook. I'm just showing you that. Don't do that. You want to build this in layers and build it gradually. Now I'm not going to try to go all the way across that square. See how I did the second layer? Now I'm going to build it again. And I can press a little harder, but it's a much nicer, deeper, richer, dark color. Okay? Now this one is the same thing, I just stopped sooner. So I'm going to go in layers. I'm going to start very gently, very lightly. Okay? I'm going to turn my pencil. All right, so the key is to have your value all the way around and the same in the whole square. No white edges, okay? You want it to be the same. You want to control the pencil. Be smarter than the pencil, right? So, is this lighter than black?
Yes.
Yep, okay. So I'm also going to number these so you know what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it is lighter. So I'm going to move on. I might need to darken it. The thing about a value scale is you kind of can bounce around. So now I need to keep it so that it goes to the white very quickly. Think that's done? I heard somebody say done. That is lighter than that, isn't it? Now, but here's the hard part, is this is the hardest one. I'm hardly holding my pencil. I'm going to go a little darker. So I've got kind of even steps, white to 2, 3. I think I might darken the 3 a little bit because it's not quite an even step. That's a little better. See, I hardly touch that. Now these two are very close together, aren't they? So I want to darken the 4. I just don't want it to be darker than the 5. Do you see how just that little bit made that 4 a little? That's all that's how hard I'm pressing right now. Okay. See how that made that darker? Now I've got much more of an even value scale. So that's what you're going to do in the value section. So.